Well, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you once again for joining us on the United Regional Chambers update. We're a day early this week because my guest and our producer over at AACS has to get their kids up to college. So we're snuck in a day early today. Thank you again for joining us. Today, my guest is Scott Abrahamson, known as the Music Wagon. Scott is a middle school music teacher and has the Music Wagon to help us during this COVID time. And he's launched a new business. He's been around for a little while. But Scott, welcome. Come tell us about yourself.
Jack, thanks for having me. I'm really glad to be here. As you said, I've spent a career as a music educator. I've actually taught pretty much all grade levels of music from the youngest ages right through to college. And I spent quite a bit of time in music retail full-time, as well as both an education liaison to the schools and also the head of sales. And then coming from a small business background, I decided to open up my own company and planned the Music Wagon to be a little bit of a different model where we come to the customer. We're the small business that's, completely the guy and local, but we provide the modern convenience of coming to you.
You're like the music ice cream truck. You come to people's houses.
In a sense, yeah. And if you look at our logo, that's pretty much what I've been seizing upon. Absolutely.
Well, how long have you yourself been a musician?
Oh goodness, I believe I started playing trumpet in grade 4, so it's going back that long. So I figured, grade 4, you're about 7, 8 years old, something like that. I guess about 8. And never stopped playing, and I still play professionally as well.
No, and I know that part of your services, you can arrange some of those performances for small gatherings, big gatherings if need be. But that's just one of the many services that the Music Wagon offers. One thing that it intrigued me, I had 2 out of the 3 of my kids went through the music program at the high school. They've had such good, long-standing relationships with a lot of their classmates. My oldest daughter is 42 now, a professor out at Arizona State, and she's still friendly with more than half the crew that she was in the music program with at the high school. And I imagine that you do work with some of the local schools.
Yes, yeah. So both in the context of a fellow educator and also as a business owner, because I do provide school and educator services. And like you said, it's a lot of long-standing relationships. I've been in the area quite a while. I've taught in both Mass and Rhode Island. I know a lot of the directors. And what's great about it is when they need something for their students, I get it because I've been there.
And you know how difficult it is wading through paperwork and the red tape and all that good stuff.
Yep. Yes.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, one question that we get, and I'm sure you're going to be able to address this, is it safe to play an instrument during this COVID-19?
The answer is an absolute yes, but it's a qualified yes. As long as you're following the proper guidelines. I mean, first of all, really any instrument, it's a personal thing. So you really shouldn't be letting anybody handle your instrument, but more so with the wind instruments, of course, you're not going to share it with anybody. The key to all instruments is keeping them clean. There are a variety of care kits and solutions out there to help properly clean an instrument so it's not damaged. And then you can just make sure you're practicing the social distancing guidelines. Both as an educator and a business owner, I've been keeping up with the research being done as far as COVID-19 and spread when playing instruments. And there are a variety of solutions that have already been created, from how to seat people in an ensemble. I mean, obviously outdoor is preferred, but to make sure that if they're in any space, that there's proper distancing, proper ventilation, masks are used when not playing. And the industry has for a long time, and Jack, you might remember this if your kids were in marching band, the tubas used to have the big covers that went over the bells.
Yep.
Yeah, the industry has responded by making those covers pretty much for all wind instruments. They can go over the bell and then cut down on potential spread.
And, during this crazy time, a lot of people are stuck at home. A lot of people are trying to find ways to entertain their kids. Do you have any suggestions for people who want to learn how to music, but just don't know how to start?
I would say, first of all, find what interests you. And, feel free to reach out to us. I mean, whether us or any of our many affiliates or teacher contacts, get a qualified teacher to help you. Most everybody has gotten accustomed to teaching online. But if you're looking to get into something relatively inexpensive, you might look at doing something as simple as a ukulele, which you see one hanging right behind me. Ukuleles are very affordable and very easy to pick up and learn and really build confidence. But like I said, any instrument that really interests you, it's never too late to learn. Within the retail industry, we've seen, oh gosh, I know personally, I've seen over the last 7 or 10 years an increasing amount of adult learners who want to engage in music.
Now, I know that a lot of schools are going through the hybrid model, and you being a teacher, how is a music class going to work in these hybrid classes?
It's really an apples to oranges, then it's based on school to school, okay? Because it really depends if the school has the physical facility to properly social distance, to properly have the ventilation, to properly space out the kids. If those parameters in place, then there's a lot of research, a lot of professional development that's been done over the summer that shows how those kids can be engaged in music. But for what it's worth, I have a band, I have a chorus at my school, and I was teaching band and chorus through Zoom throughout the spring when we were all sent home. So it can be done. Is it ideal not to be in person? No, but can it be done? Yes. And one of the big buzzwords you're hearing in education right now is social emotional learning. Well, music is social emotional learning.
Yes, it is.
So whether it's in person or online, I would urge every parent out there to get their children engaged in music somehow, especially during these trying times.
Yeah, but we don't need any more of that heavy metal stuff, though. I'm old now, and I can't stand that stuff. How can you help with remote learning?
Well, that's a great question. I would tell anybody, give me a call and talk to me about the technology and that's available to you. And I can recommend some platforms, some different software programs, put you in touch with different companies on how to properly set it up. I've used a variety of technologies over the years, and within my teaching career, technology has been a strong suit for me.
All right. Now, one of the other things that you and I talked a little bit about in a previous conversation is that you also handle sales and repair of musical instruments, and I know that's kind of a unique thing these days, handling the repairs of a instrument. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, what I do is, you can't do everything on your own when you're a one-man operation, and I can do minor repairs that I've learned how to do over the years on site or whatever for a customer. But I do have on contract a professional repair technician with over 40 years experience. And we have a working relationship where it's routine visits. We take the instruments in and we make sure that not only the instruments repaired, but some basic cleaning is done and disinfection of the cases, especially now during COVID-19.
And you can also supply the sheet music and, from the basics up to the, more comprehensive stuff that is played out there today. Am I right?
Yeah, it's correct. And with this, since we're talking about a digital age, the Music Wagon is a digital retailer, one of the largest publishers. We're seeing more and more music be put for sale online, and they can be delivered in PDF format to the customer. But of course, we can do traditional print music as well. Like you said, instrument sales. We also do instrument rentals.
And what is your coverage area?
I would say it's pretty unlimited right now. I right now target pretty much eastern Massachusetts from basically Worcester County all the way over to the shore. And I also will service neighboring Rhode Island because the company is based out of Rehoboth, so we're really close to the Rhode Island border. In fact, I've got quite a few clients up in the North Shore. I have to make a series of deliveries this upcoming Monday. I think I'm about pretty close to about 20 instrument deliveries up in the North Shore on Monday.
Well, obviously, digital can go anywhere across the country, but it's very important. I know how difficult it was when my kids were involved to get an instrument repaired, the time involved. Sometimes it would be weeks and months before I could even get it back. Now, if somebody had a serious problem with an instrument, you have replacements that they can rent until that comes back. Am I right?
Right. You can do a minimum rental for that, but I will go back to your statement about how long it can take. It can take a long time, particularly some of the larger corporations who ship things to warehouses. But because I have a local professional repair tech, our turnaround time is typically a week or less, with the exception of major overhauls. So if you had, on a trumpet, a stuck slide or maybe a bent head joint on the flute, depending on the nature of the damage, if you contacted me for pickup and I took it, I would generally have it back to you within the week.
Well, that's a whole lot different from, again, way back when my kids were doing it. What are some of the tips that you would give some parents when the kid comes home and says, I want to try out a musical instrument, and I remember the day they come home with a tuba. Should there be conversation with the instructors first?
Absolutely, because if the child is going to take it in school, you want to make sure you're speaking to the school director and knowing the parameters of the program, what they offer. Instrumentation is a huge issue. You mentioned tuba. Well, you're not going to want 30 tubas in a band per se. You have to balance the instrumentation, but definitely support the interest in the instrument. Do some research, maybe find some professional recordings, and because if a child is really liking that particular instrument, they're more likely going to want to practice and get good at it.
Right. And, again, with all the social distancing, I think more and more are doing it all virtual, and the lessons and the practices together. How, I'm a little hesitant about that, especially the instructional part of it. Can you do like a one-on-one with a student so you can hear exactly what they're playing and maybe even catch some of the I don't want to call them mistakes, but how you can help them improve?
You can with good technology. Again, so like the computer I'm on right now is just a phenomenal machine with stereo speakers and all that. So that really helps me as the instructor. I will tell you, since you mentioned that one-on-one, I actually started on lessons this summer. A little boy at the age of 7. He's only been studying with me about a month. The parents purchased a percussion kit from me, and I, of course, delivered it to their home. And I said, I'll tell you what, when I deliver it to you, I will give you his first lesson, as long as we can do it socially distanced. And they had this huge wraparound porch in their home. We were outside, mask distance, and I was able to show him the basics of starting. The parents then asked me to continue teaching him, and he's on a Zoom session with me once per week, and he's doing phenomenally well. And it's adorable too, because like I said, he's only 7 years old.
Right.
But he's really into it. It's going very, very well.
And how about you and your kids? Do your kids play music?
Yes, actually, my son, who's in high school, he's both a guitarist and a bit of a trumpet player like his dad. Although now that he's in high school, I think guitar is more cool to him.
Yes, of course.
My daughter was playing cornet until she got braces, and then of course by that time she was into college, so that kind of killed the cornet. But she does pick up a ukulele and guitar from time to time and jam out in those.
So do you have family jams at home?
We have it at times. They've been trying to get their mother to get more involved. A couple years ago, she had me order for her a ukulele so she could start learning, because she got tired of being the only one who didn't play music. So there's been quite a few times this summer where the string instruments came out and everybody was trying to help each other.
Does that happen to be the ukulele on the wall behind you?
Honestly, no, because this particular ukulele behind me is actually made by a company in Massachusetts, entirely made in the United States. And I'm a dealer for them, and they're just so well made that they fly out the door. So usually whatever I pick up is whatever's in stock.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I had to kind of toss that in there a little bit. Well, Scott, thanks for taking the time to be with me today. And tell us how the parents and the schools can get a hold of you.
Well, you can certainly call me at our phone number at 508-252-6222. You can also go to our website at themusicwagon.com, and there's a contact form on the website. There's also a live chat. And with the live chat, believe it or not, folks, I have it go straight to my cell phone so I can answer you promptly, of course, as long as it's not in the middle of the night.
Oh. Why, you a little cranky at 1 o'clock in the morning? Is that you
Just
telling
a
me?
little bit these days, you know, as we get older, right, Jack?
I'm right with you, buddy, and I got you by a couple of years. Well, again, Scott from the Music Wagon, thank you very much. Thank you for being part of the Chamber of Commerce. We wish you well, and hopefully we can help you expand your business a little bit. Folks, thanks for coming out and listening to us again today. If there's any particular subject that you'd like to see us talk about, we've had the chiropractors on, we've had health, we've had music, anything that you might want to listen or learn more about, we're here. Thank you once again. Everybody stay safe and be social.